Hello everyone, TMMgamer here, and today I have the pleasure of bringing you another one of my videos. But today, it's a video with a little bit of difference because this week the first information about FIFA 15 was released. So I thought I'd do a little bit of a video covering the major points and talking about some of the confirmed features for FIFA 15. And if you are interested in a little bit more detail, what I'll do is I'll link in the description the link to it, so you can check that out for yourself. But I'm just going to do a quick overview here to talk about a little bit of what they said they're going to be doing. And the first one, obviously, to really hammer home, is like the cover title for this is Emotion and Intensity. Idris Elba did a really good voiceover for the new FIFA 15 trailer, and if you haven't seen that, definitely go and check that out on YouTube. There's a huge amount of focus on the emotion of the venue and the crowd and the players' reactions, and it's actually trying to increase the immersion, which I think is very good. And the first major thing they're going to be trying to do is emotional intelligence, and they say for the first time ever, players have memories and will show emotion based on the context of the match. With over 600 new emotional reactions, players now respond to pivotal moments on the pitch, bad tackles, missed chances and epic goals, as they would in real life. And I think this is really useful because once you've played FIFA, and it doesn't matter which FIFA you play, 14, 13, 12, whatever it is, once you've played that for a decent amount of time, you begin to recognise the same animations again and again and again. And this is true with sports games across the board. I mean, the biggest culprit of this, I remember, was Madden and Virtua Tennis. Like, one of the old Virtua Tennises, it had literally the same victory animation again and again and again. And it just takes it completely out of the experience, because then it's like, I'm trying to be playing a football simulator or a tennis simulator, and then every time I score a goal, there's only like 3 celebrations, and the keeper does the same hands and head, and it just doesn't look as good as it could do. So this is really good to see. And I, for one, am very surprised that this hasn't happened already, because we've already got some games out there which have dynamic reactions. And there's one NFL game, it's not Madden, and I can't for the life of me remember what it was. And I actually did a little bit of digging on the internet to try and find the name of it, and couldn't. That just shows the monopoly Madden has on the NFL market. But there's actually a game when one of your players is running down the line, all the people on the bench react to him and say, go on, and if they get tackled off the pitch, everybody dives out the way. So the technology has been there for a while, but it hasn't really happened. But I'm actually glad that this is actually going to be happening now. So that's the first thing they've gone for. The second thing, again, building on this whole immersion thing, is dynamic match presentation. And EA say that match day is dynamic and immersive. Improved commentary will highlight unique fan reactions, while chance behaviours will be relevant to country or even your club. New bench reactions, sideline character animations, 10-man goal celebrations and more will keep you engaged in the story of the match. And this is exactly what I was touching on before. You know, the whole raft of animations you need, and obviously this is a huge amount of work, but I'm glad to see this. And I was, moving on to the next gen of consoles now, this is the first game that is going to be exclusively developed for this new console. Obviously it will be ported over to PS3, but this is going to be PS4 and Xbone's focus in this game. And obviously with the new power you can get a lot more done, so getting all of these animations in will definitely help that. And I'm really looking forward to the accurate sideline and crowd animations and the chants, because I'm fed up of playing as Aston Villa and hearing Newcastle United chants in the stadium. And that was FIFA 12, FIFA 13 doing a career mode as Aston Villa and hearing Newcastle United chants. It's just like, what is this? And a big part of that obviously is having a finite list of stadiums, because the bigger clubs have their own stadium ready built for them, and when you have made a stadium for a club, you can weave in chants into that stadium very simply. But when it came to playing as Aston Villa, they hadn't designed Villa Park. They designed a generic 40,000-ish seater stadium called Ivy Lane, and Ivy Lane was used for a whole raft of clubs. So obviously they just flung in some random chants here and there to create some sort of atmosphere, but it didn't really work out. So I'm very pleased to see that they're actually taking this a little bit more seriously and trying to improve the immersion, because again, football simulator, this is what it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be an arcade game. It's supposed to be an accurate representation of football, both on the pitch and the wider atmosphere and stadium, sidelines, managers, etc. So again, I'm actually quite pleased to see this. The next headline is called Unrivaled Intelligence, and the first bullet under this is team tactics. Your teammates and opponents now recognise what's happening in the match and will adjust their tactics just like real players. Park the bus, in the mixer, and time wasting are some of the team tactics you'll come up against in FIFA 15. And Again, one of my major criticisms of FIFA 14 is just the brainless AI. Sometimes the AI just has literally no idea what's going on. You will be on a counter-attack and 4 of your players will be sitting there twiddling your thumbs on the edge of your area, and you'll lose the ball, and players will just aimlessly trot upfield looking over the shoulders and going, why are you all starting to run back, guys? What are we doing? We're going forward, aren't we? And then, oh, we've lost the ball. Oh, we've conceded because half of my midfield is still in the opposition box. It's like, the AI is very slow to respond in certain situations, so I'm hoping this is what they are actually targeting, because that's quite a vague statement, isn't it? Your opponents and teammates now recognise what's happening in the match, so you're telling me they didn't do that before at all? You know, it's quite a vague statement, but that's what I'm taking it as. Might be wrong, might be right, we'll have to wait and see. You haven't had much gameplay demos or anything really, it's just a basic trailer and a few of the supporting articles just tell us what their aims are, but that's really what I want to see. You know, in my what needs to be improved with FIFA videos, I bang on about the AI so much because it is completely woeful in certain scenarios. Again, football's a very dynamic game. No one game of FIFA is identical, so to program a truly dynamic AI again is very challenging. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's something that I think FIFA desperately needs to focus on, the AI. It's just not very good. Both your teammates and your opponents, they have too many mad moments, and mad moments are definitely a part of football. We've seen goalkeepers rush out 40 yards and miss the ball, stupid handballs on the line. You know, mad moments definitely play a part, but when you have people unable to mark corners and people just run randomly around the field like they're a headless chicken, that's when you know there's a little bit of a problem. So hopefully that's what they begin to do and sharpen up a little bit. The next one, there's always got to be one on graphics. Whenever you release a new game, everybody wants to look at the new graphics and, oh, shiny, look at Messi's hair, look at the rain glint off his eyebrow, all of that stuff. And obviously graphics play a large part, but gameplay for me, I'd rather have a slightly worse looking game and slicker gameplay than this visual masterpiece which is buggy and barely runs and you can't do what you want. But let's talk about what they say about graphics. Authentic player visuals. Next generation football player is here. Player faces have an incredible level of detail, while character models look and feel powerful and athletic. Kits move realistically and change with the environment, become dirty with mud and grass as the match unfolds. And hey, I'm up for more graphical improvements. Again, it's always nice to see a better looking game, but like I mentioned, this is not the priority for FIFA. I don't look at FIFA and go, oh, what a disgusting looking game. I look at FIFA and go, yeah, it looks quite pleasant, it's bright, it's airy, they've got reasonable player models. There's the occasional player who you look at and just think, what is that? Who is he? That's just some random human being you've pulled off a computer file and bunged up because you couldn't be bothered to make the player model. Like Raheem Sterling, for example. Raheem Sterling looks absolutely nothing like Raheem Sterling in FIFA. It's just unbelievable. Admittedly, it's because at the start of the season no one from EA had heard of him, but you know, I think you need to actually spend a bit more time on that, because there was one season, and I've forgotten the player unfortunately, but they actually put a white guy as a black guy, which you'd think for quite a large football game with a rather large budget, you'd be able to tell what race a person is. It's sort of part one, isn't it? It's, is he man or woman? Is he white? Is he Asian? You know, that's quite basic animation, isn't it, that? I mean, I could probably animate to that level. So for EA to get the race of a player wrong is quite a large step in the wrong direction. So fingers crossed they actually get that right, and we don't see a white Daniel Sturridge up front for England, because that would be a little bit awkward. But yeah, moving on to the graphical thing again, the next bit is living pitch. Stadiums are alive and full of emotion. Again, emotion is a key part of this press release and a key part of the trailer. They really are banging on about how they want the emotion and the immersion to be increased, which is a good thing. But stadiums are alive and full of the emotion that only football can create. Playing surfaces wear down as the match progresses, with boot marks, slide tackles and debris visible on the pitch. Corner flags move, goal frames shake, and animated LED ad boards bring FIFA 15 to life. I bet they're loving the animated FIFA 15 LED ad boards, because it means they can sell huge amounts of ad space. Because when you design a stadium with static ad boards, there's only a finite number of companies you can actually sell the ad space to, and don't think EA don't do it, because they definitely do. Obviously, you've got FIFA's affiliates, the Coca-Cola, whoever they may be, that will have their own little spot on the ad revenue. But if you can have scrolling ads, think of the actual potential for that, because it means you can hotfix the game to have new adverts. So you can have people continually bid on your game to have ad space on it, because you can patch it immediately so the ads change, and that is just such a financial money spinner. I don't think people would realise just how much money that can potentially make a company. And again, EA are not exactly short of a few bob, are they? So that would be a nice way for them to earn a bit more money without releasing 17 teams of the year like they normally do. But again, this is good. Far too often you see the same thing on FIFA. You know, the same pitches, you get the same 7 or 8 stadiums, always picked on Ultimate Team. When you play seasons, it's always Real Madrid, so you're always playing in the Bernabeu, which is again unfortunate. But this will actually be nice. So one of the screenshots they're seeing, it's Lionel Messi on the ball playing against Atletico Madrid, and there's little spike marks everywhere. There's a little bit of a skid mark where you can tell someone slid in. The shadows from the different floodlights are intertwining really nicely. It does look pretty nice, and obviously screenshots are screenshots. It's not actual gameplay, and trailers and all that are always touched up, or if not touched up, they're always very flattering. You're not going to put a trailer out where your game looks like a turd unless you are actually making a game looking like a turd, and you can't really dress it up that much. So hopefully this is as good as it's going to look, because it actually looks like this. It does look quite nice, which again, I mentioned earlier, graphics are always nice, but then for me they're not the core of the game. But hey, if they can get good AI and good graphics in, I'm not going to complain. The next part, a bit more of a gameplay focus on this. It's player control, and the heading underneath that is agility and control. Leave defenders in the dust or control the ball like the world's best footballers. Players explode into action with improved balance, cuts and closer touches when in possession, giving greater responsiveness and personality to the game's superstars. Experience brilliant control as you keep the ball in the sprint or when searching for an opening in those close touch situations. Again, this is something which I am very, very fond of. For me, I don't like the close dribble mechanic in this FIFA. It just seems a little stilted. It's not as smooth as I'd like it to be. You know, if you're on a player like an Eden Hazard or a Lionel Messi, you know, their touch is just so perfect. It's so natural. You know, when you have to hold L2 to get them to make a little dink touch, it's just not right. I was hoping for more of like a gradiated analog stick mechanic. So if you move the analog stick in a slightly more soft way, you'll nudge the ball, and a little more of a subtle mechanic said as hold L2 and move, and it's just not what I'm looking for. So if they can refine that mechanic a little bit more, that'll be great, because that's one of the things I really want to see done better. Because a lot of the time I don't even bother with the close dribble mechanic. It's very, very situational for me, and that's why I think whenever you see people play FIFA, there's always this massive propensity for pace and strength, because pace and strength is very, very strong in FIFA, because you can just play that long ball behind and Ronaldo will just muscle a guy off and run past. If you have a look at a player like Lionel Messi in FIFA, even though his technical stats and his rating are phenomenal, he plays so much worse than Ronaldo does in FIFA. It's like a massive difference, and one of the major reasons for this is because of the poor dribbling mechanic. The way EA have tried to solve this in the past is by making it so that these fantastic players have insane balance and agility, so they basically elasticate themselves everywhere and they don't really fall over. But that's artificial dribbling. That's not why Lionel Messi is so good. It's part of it, but another part of it is because his touch is just incredible. And it's the same with players like Iniesta. You know, Iniesta's a small guy, Xavi's a small guy, but they are so incredible at what they do because their first touch is perfect and their dribbling is just incredible, and so the way they move the ball between their feet and around players is just inch perfect. So I'm looking to see that be improved for this FIFA, and hopefully that'll be the case. Moving on to the next bit, man-to-man battles. Dispossessing your opponent is more rewarding than ever. Intercept and keep the ball with possession tackles and use shoulder barges. Feel the impact with big full physics. Shirt pulling will also be visible with enhanced cloth technology. FIFA 15 fundamentally changes the way you compete for the ball. I'm not so sure about this because they haven't really mentioned anything groundbreaking. It's like, yeah, you can shoulder barge, excellent, and the rest of it's just graphical improvement. It's not actually showing you much gameplay advancement there. The thing that really annoys me with FIFA at the moment when it comes to tussling for the ball is the shirt pull. The shirt pull is very, very powerful, very rarely punished, and just incredibly broken in certain scenarios. You get an absolutely rapid winger purling it round the outside of a defender, he just blatantly grabs him by the hair basically and hauls him back, which is just such a blatant foul, and the game just laughs it off basically. If they tone that down and actually require you to time a shoulder barge to win the ball, then fair enough, because it's a very legitimate defensive tactic. If you can get your body into your opponent's body and shove him off the ball whilst competing for it fairly, excellent. I'd much rather they go that route and try again refine the mechanic than just have it look nicer when your opponent shoves you off and pulls your shirt. I don't want shirt pulls to look as nice, if it's the only way you can win the ball back in that situation. So that's, again, more of a graphical improvement, it seems. The next one, correct contacts. Ball physics are authentic. You'll see better accuracy in the spin, curl, flight of the football as it moves realistically after each contact. In FIFA 15, the game evolves with astonishing lifelike ball trajectories and spin while dribbling, passing, taking a touch, or blocking a shot. And again, this is something I touched on earlier with the dribbling. Certain players, the very, very good dribblers, are vastly underpowered in FIFA because of the ball mechanics, the dribbling mechanic, and the way strength and pace works in the game. So if they can refine that, actually force players to stop just humping it upfield and actually reward the people who get on the ball with Lionel Messi and jink through 5 players and then put it in the top corner, these are good. This is more of what I'm looking for. Whenever you read the spiel for a new game, you've got to look beyond the management speak and the all that, and actually see what they're saying. And this one, even though that little small notice there, it does tell me that they're actually focusing a lot on the dribbling mechanic, which is very, very needed, I feel. So that's a good thing, at least. The next one, set piece control. Now you'll command set pieces, position off the ball teammates during throw-ins, corners and free kicks, so they're the best place to receive a pass and create attacking opportunities. And this is the final one, and for me this is not required because you could already do a huge amount of tinkering with set pieces, and in this FIFA I have not bothered to tinker with a single set piece, and the reason why is because they are so incredibly effective as it is. You do not need to do anything with corners. If you put a good in-swinging corner in or a good out-swinging corner, you will score a hatful of goals, and you don't have to spend 2 hours refining the perfect corner routine in the set piece creator. It's nice if you want that little extra bit of immersion, but for me what they actually need to do is tone down corners in general, because it is still far, far too easy to score from corners. And I remember in that very first hotfix patch they did, I'm not sure if it was a hotfix, it might have just been a proper patch actually. The first patch they did early on in FIFA 14's life cycle was toning down headers, and headers are still too good. They are still too good. Corners are just silly. They're very, very silly. Because again, like I mentioned earlier, the AI is just atrocious. The AI defensively at corners is abysmal. There are some times where, and I've done videos on this, again, my What Needs to Be Improved FIFA series, where I've shown you examples where the game has literally refused to move the player for me on the defensive corner the guy scored. It's like, if you can't even move your own defenders, what hope do you have in this set piece control? So for me, again, this is something that doesn't particularly bother me. It'll be nice for the people who do it, and again, it's always nice to have more features, but for me, primary concern number 1, defensive AI. Primary concern number 2, offensive AI. Primary concern number 3, tone down those corners, improve the dribbling. And then once you've done all of that, then all of the the living pitch, the living stadium, the emotion, etc., etc., will be fantastic dressing on a good game. That's what I want it to be. I don't want it to be all style and no substance. I want it to be substance first, and then dress it up as you want after that. But guys, thank you so much for listening to the video. Really hope you've enjoyed it. Lots of stuff's been discussed there. I'd like you to say anything you want about this. What's the thing you're looking forward to most? What are you hoping they focus on? What are you a little bit concerned about? Any of those things I'd be happy to read and reply to. So once again, thank you so much for watching the video, and as always, have a great day.